Have you ever got the poison ivy?
No.
You never had it?
No.
I had it.
Thankfully.
Badly. I've had it a few times.
I have enough skin issues.
But when your ears are itchy, what does it mean? That somebody's talking about you, or that you get money? Or is it when your hands are itchy?
I don't believe any of that.
You get money. I see your little pill bottle, or your ramekin cup of nutrients. Yes. Do you find that helps? Like taking multivitamins and vitamin C and vitamin D?
I don't know.
I know. I have a high value for it. Not that I do it every day, but I have my vitamins. I have my multivitamins.
I take vitamin D and omega-3.
I bought the wrong kind. I bought the old man, the 65.
Senior vitamins.
So I don't know if that's affecting me at all.
Oh, but that was a good day for me when I discovered that.
And then I bought
when I saw your senior vitamins in the cupboard, I've never gotten over it.
From Costco. And like, how long is that going to last?
Yeah.
A year.
And remember before COVID, like last year, we bought tickets for something. We bought tickets for something at Christmas time to go to something, and we had to put you in the upper category of age.
I know, I changed categories, 46 to 65. I think that's an unfair category.
Oh,
but
no.
the multivitamin thing, like
but like 50 and 60, that's not even old.
I know, it keeps getting younger.
And then doesn't even matter.
And then younger keeps getting younger though. Like 23, like oh my goodness. You guys know nothing. And no, but I have multivitamin, senior, and I have vitamin C. That's like that big horse pill. And then we got fish oil.
I feel like we're lingering on this topic long.
And I got vitamin D.
Yes.
And I take them, but not every day.
No, you don't
take
them every day.
But I have high value for them. Sure. But I don't see the difference. I don't necessarily feel the difference. Okay. But I think that is a lot like doing spiritual exercises and meditation and prayer. You don't necessarily see the difference all the time or quickly.
You lingered on that topic for a lengthy amount of time with such a good point at the end. Wow.
But I don't, like, you don't necessarily see, I do a morning devotional on my own. I read a psalm and a proverb and another book of the Bible. And so basically I'm taking out, like, understanding who God is, or like a word of encouragement or something that I've never seen, and I write those 3 things down.
Yeah.
And I find, like, I've been doing that for many years, and I find that if I miss a few in a row, I do notice a difference. If I miss a couple vitamins in a row, I don't necessarily know the difference, but maybe my immune system does.
Do you notice the difference, or do we notice the difference? Just kidding.
Yeah. There is that. All right, my pretty friend. What day is it?
I don't even know. 20. Oh, it's the 21st.
21.
I know that.
Uh-oh. This might be convicting. Financial responsibility. I can't even read it. You read it. It's your turn.
Are you shirking your responsibility right now?
Shirking.
It's so long.
I know, I saw that too. That's why. That was my motive.
When I began recovery from chemical dependency, I had to face my money mess, stone cold sober. And I really had a mess, said one woman. I wasn't able to earn much at first, and it was important for me to make amends. I had past due bills from years before. I needed to try to stay current with my new bills. I had a lot more money before I sobered up. But in time, slowly, gradually, my financial situation cleared up. I restored my credit. I had a checking account. I had a little money in the bank. Then I married an alcoholic and began to learn about my codependency. That sucks. The hard way. I lost myself, my feelings, my sanity, and all the progress I had made with my financial affairs. My husband and I opened a checking account together, and he overdrafted checks until I lost the right to have a checking account. I let him charge on my credit card, and he drove that into the ground. We borrowed and borrowed to keep our sinking ship afloat, and we borrowed a lot from my parents, she said. By the time I began my recovery from codependency, I was again facing a real financial mess. I was furious, and it didn't matter who did what. I had some serious financial matters to face if that part of my life was ever going to become manageable again. Slowly, very slowly, I began to work out of my mess. It seemed impossible. I didn't even want to face it. It felt so overwhelming and hopeless, but I did. And each day, I did the best I could to be responsible for myself. One decision I made was to separate and protect myself financially from my husband the best I could before and after we divorced. The other decision I made was to face and begin reconstructing the financial affairs in my life. It was difficult. We owed over $50,000 and my ability to produce income had dramatically decreased. I was grieving. My self-esteem was at an all-time low. My energy was low. I did not know how I would ever untangle this nightmare, but it did happen. Slowly, gradually, with the help of a higher power, manageability crept in and replaced chaos. I began by not spending more than I earned. I paid back some creditors a little at a time. I let go of what I couldn't do and focused on what I could do. Now, 8 years have passed. I am debt-free, which I never imagined possible. I am living comfortably with money in the bank. My credit has been restored again, and I intend to keep it that way. I'm not willing to lose my financial sanity and security again, ever, for love or for alcoholism. With the help of God and the 12 steps, I won't have to. One day at a time, we can be restored in recovery, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially. It may get worse before it gets better, because we are finally facing reality instead of dodging it. But once we make the decision to take financial responsibility for ourselves, we are on our way. God, help me remember that what seems hopeless today can often be solved tomorrow, even if I can't see the solution. If I have allowed the problems of others to hurt me financially, help me repair and restore my boundaries around money and what I am willing to lose. Help me understand that I do not have to allow anyone else's financial irresponsibility, addiction, disease, or problem to hurt me financially. Help me go on with my life in spite of my present financial circumstances, trusting that if I am willing to make amends and be responsible, things will work out.
Amen.
So we could have written that.
Yeah, we've had our money issues, and then even in recovery, like I couldn't cash a check for 6 years.
That's
7 years.
well, this is exactly what we.
Thank you,
through.
Nana, for cashing my checks. And it's hard when you're in recovery because your recovery, at the end of it, it doesn't say go get your job back, go get your career back and start making stacks. Yeah. It says go help other people. And so there's the illusion that I need to make up for lost time. If we come into recovery and become sons and daughters of God, He's going to take care of a lot of that stuff. Obviously, there's going to be consequences of our lifestyle, but in our experience, it's taking responsibility and seeking counsel and getting out of debt. God doesn't want us to have debt, for us anyway. That's my experience.
Yeah, that was something that we decided early on. Like in recovery, we had when you started in recovery, we had lots of debt.
More debt.
More debt than that?
Yes.
I forget.
More debt than that.
Oh yeah, it was upwards of 70.
Yeah.
Upwards of $70,000.
Yes. Plus.
Yeah. And so we decided that one of our amends for that would be that we would live debt free. And so even today, we don't carry a balance on our credit card. We pay it off in full every month. Now, full disclosure, we've been less responsible.
No, but we've had a budget. So a budget
yes.
and a schedule. Actually, like if you work with each other and God,
right.
and go, where is our money going? Where is our time going? We really believe that is giving up control and letting God be in control.
Right.
And so then we can look back in a weekend. We didn't do so well here. We didn't do so well here. We're taking control back.
Have we done that in the last 6 months?
We've had a budget for how long?
Oh, like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
9.
And then since COVID, something happened.
What happened?
We took back control.
Oh, did we ever?
Did we ever?
What did we do?
Well, we operate on a paper. See, I'm making excuses right now. We operate on a paper budget and envelopes, and now there is
and nobody wanted cash.
I still have allowance in my wallet from the beginning of COVID
because you couldn't spend it.
Well,
and somehow I managed to spend mine.
And
because my flower shop friend takes cash
money,
and I bought myself monthly flowers with my allowances.
It's just something that we have to actually reflect on, because if we do it our way and continue to do it our way, as my son says as he sits on the couch, you guys are spending way too much money. What's wrong with you? Stop buying scooters. Happens.
But we still aren't carrying a credit card balance.
I'll be right back.
We're still carrying. What are you doing? We're still paying off our credit card in full every month. You're wearing a new shirt.
All right. So let's not, like, that's enough about money. But I felt like while we were speaking, I totally felt like I understand what women go through with lingerie. Like, you're wearing something really nice underneath, but no one else can see it, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
And I was wearing a sweater with my new shirt, and I was like, no one knows. I want to show it off.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I get what you guys go through with your pretty...
puff out your chest one more time.
Look, you can't flex excuses in mint green.
And what were we just doing?
Trying to flex excuses.
About our finances and why we aren't following a budget?
No, we got to get on it. We got to get on it.
We ate out a lot. We did eat out a lot because that was something that we actually structured in our budget. We did, like, we were both, I'm working full-time downtown. Our church is downtown. Everything we do is downtown. So then we would eat out a lot. So we would just be downtown. And so you'd come get me from work and so we would eat out, but we built that into our budget. So we drove an older vehicle that had no car payments. We don't go on trips. We like to eat out. And so now we're home all the time, eating out whenever we want.
Doing whatever we want.
Not even thinking about it in advance. So before we'd have to think like, oh, how much money do we have? Like, oh, let's go. So we had a bunch of places where we could eat out and we could eat the two of us for like less than $40, like, or sometimes even $30. And so we knew
$20.
if we go to these places, we could eat super cheap. If we go to this place, it's going to be expensive. And so we would, we would decide. The other day, I was like, let's go to a chip truck. And we wound up at on the patio of a crazy expensive Italian restaurant.
Because we deserve it.
We're like, what's happening?
Can't flex excuses.
And I probably had something in the fridge that I could have made for dinner.
Probably. Chicken broccoli ring.
Yeah, we're just being really irresponsible.
In that
sense.
Irresponsible.
And
so then, when do we get on track? When we start like getting 10 grand in debt?
Well, but
when do we start like?
I don't know.
Getting like in my mind, I remember saying if I hit a certain weight, like this weight, then I'll like
work out.
Then I'll start getting back into shape and working out. Like and I'm like, I sound like that crackhead. If only I lose everything, like my car, my clothes, I have nowhere to live, then I might go to rehab then. It's like, can we do preventative maintenance? Like,
but
how spiritually sick do we have to be to not?
When I look at our bank account, it doesn't actually seem really that bad though, because it's not like our bank account, our savings account hasn't really gone down.
And we have a savings account for the first time in our life. let's blow it all. And then we'll get back into spiritually sound safe in our money and our time and our physical conditions. And
I think if we really looked at it, any money that was in like our gas allowance envelope or in like other envelopes, we're not spending those envelopes. And so I feel like maybe we don't realize it.
I had so much money in the gas envelope left.
Okay, but maybe we don't realize it, but we're still spending the same amount of money, just not on different things. But the thing is, we don't know that because we actually haven't sat down with a spending plan. And so we have unnecessary, okay, maybe not you, but me.
Stress.
I have unnecessary stress and anxiety and guilt around like, oh, we're spending too much money.
Because we're in control.
Because I'm in control. And so if I just made a plan, if I just planned it and I knew and I could look at the plan, we could look at the plan and say like, oh, actually, look at that. This is what we spent.
This is why Jesus says, carry your cross daily. Like we have to die of ourselves daily or we get to where we are. Like wherever we are. I don't really know where we are. But we can get off track really quickly. So that's why it's so important to take your multivitamins and do your spiritual exercises on a daily basis and not have to get panicked and worried. Because I think that anxiety and the worry of not really knowing where your money is going or what it's doing and knowing that it's your will kind of being done and that you have control over it. And yeah, I don't really want a budget. I don't really want to see it anyway.
I don't even understand why we're not doing it. It's not hard.
I know. Anyway. There you go. How sick can we be?
Do you think it plays into like the fatigue?
I believe fatigue is fatiguing all avenues of healthy, emotional, spiritually, physical. I think it's a whole ball of wax all put together. And you can't flex excuses.
And
from
so
the couch eating chips.
the only way to
Sour
combat
Patch Kids.
fatigue is to continue doing the things that you know you need to do to
Healthy
keep
things. Yeah.
emotionally healthy,
Yeah.
spiritually healthy, mentally healthy. Like the best things that I can do is
I was doing my transcribing in the big book through the VBA stuff. It is tedious. And so I make a lot of notes in my big book, and one of them was, if you can't be a great example, you'll be a horrible warning. So here we go. We might not be a shining example, but a horrible warning.
be a horrible warning.
Either way.
We're going to end on that note.
God's going to use it to somebody's benefit. All right. But that motivates us too. We get, there it is. It's on camera.
I'm just letting you be the leader in this area.
Okay. Friday.
Friday's a really busy
start
day.
Monday. Start Monday. We'll have a budget meeting on Monday.
Ew, that's a horrible day for and don't call it a budget meeting.
All right. On that cue, we out. If you
It's
want
called a
to
spending plan.
get a cool shirt like
It's
this,
called a spending
go
plan, though.
to
Budget's a terrible word.
AncestorReviews.com and get a shirt, and we can twin around town. All right. Have a great afternoon.
I think Facebook made it so that you can tag this shirt in your post and a link to the shop. You should try to figure that out.
Hockey stick and hands.
What?
Hockey stick and hands. You got to wash your hands and keep a hockey stick apart from each other. Hockey sticks are generally 6 feet tall, maybe.
Yeah.
So hockey stick and hands.
Wow. Have a good day.